I challenge ChatGPT to write me a lead magnet in a niche that I've never written to. And the results? Well, stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to show you how you can write a really good lead magnet from headline to PS using ChatGPT. The copy is probably about a B+. It's pretty decent. So I'm going to be showing you the prompts I used, the edits I made so the copy flowed and actually sound pretty good, even the soft call action that I've used with my clients so that they've been able to close 5-figure deals into their coaching program. This isn't some token checklist lead magnet you might see everywhere else. This is something that actually does what it's meant to do, which is generate leads and close them into the sale. People who are actually hot to buy and want your solution, because isn't that what a lead magnet is all about? And the cool thing is that I stumbled into this method by accident. I'll explain the story and how it all works in just a second. But first, so who am I and why should you listen to me? Hey, so my name is Jules Dan. I'm a freelance list master and profit extractor and some weird dude carrying a laptop and walking with it. I basically take coaches, consultants, and course creators' email lists that kind of look like this. You know, it's messy, it's disorganized, there's money leaking all over the place. And I fix it up, plug all the money holes using my $15 million in client results and experience. And the end result is that their list kind of looks like this. And one of the best ways to get quality subscribers onto your list and giving you money later down the track is a lead magnet, a good one too. So here's a little bit of a backstory of how I discovered this new type of lead magnet. Because let me ask you, how many lead magnets have you actually read? I think I've probably read about 1 or 2. And every time there are a checklist or something like that where it's not really in depth, it's just sitting in my downloads folder. I've tested a bunch of different lead magnets for myself and for my clients, cheat sheets, mistakes, swap files, free challenges. They all sort of attracted, email subscribers, but did anyone really convert into a lead right away, like a sale? Not really. No one really downloaded and turned into something meaningful like a high ticket sale. That was until early on in my list management client days. I had to make a good impression. The only issue was that this dude's list was ice cold. So I decided to use a lead magnet to reactivate his list. Only problem was though, it was 4 PM, I was a bit rushed and I was like, oh my God, I got to do this today. So I went with my gut and I created a lead magnet centered around one thing. All it did was just answer one specific burning question that his target audience wanted to know. Now, for John's audience, it was, what are the top 3 profitable recruiting niches to do in 2022? Do this now urgently. That document and reactivation campaign went on to land him several clients. I'm like, if this worked, maybe I can apply this to other clients. And sure enough, I recycled this and used it for another client, changed the headline a little bit, changed other bits of the body copy, and it converted again. So that's when I thought, okay, this structure of lead magnet works. And it made me really realize, why is everyone doing this really fancy PDF, nice graphics, very long, 30-page book, when I can just spend an hour on a Google Doc and create this and start generating like multi-$1,000 appointments and sales on the way. Like, it's just a no-brainer, right? But that's the thing, like I've spent 3 years getting better and better and better at crafting copy. Maybe you're not the same, who's obsessed with it, or that's not your thing. How to use ChatGPT to speed things up. Well, that's where I want to show you right now. It got me thinking with this video, would it be possible to train ChatGPT to learn this style of lead magnet that I created for my clients and then pump it out in about 15 minutes? And that's where I challenged to write in a niche I've never written before and made up an offer, and it actually produced something not bad. Now, if you haven't seen some of my other videos on ChatGPT, like writing a Facebook ad, writing bullets, extracting video testimonial, and giving you lots of different ideas for, say, content, I'm going to leave that link in the description below because there's a playlist there. It has all the foundation principles I'm going to talk about today. If you want to go binge watch the rest of my stuff on ChatGPT, I could definitely check that out. And the more versed you are with like the foundations and stuff, the less drudgery, the less crawling through mud like I had to just to figure out how to get this thing to work. Because if you don't give it the right prompts and you don't give it the quality data, it's going to sound really crap. So anyway, before we get stuck in the copy, we got to nail the voice. Oh God, why is it so cringy all the time, Jules? That's why I love myself. Hey, find these cringy act outs fun and entertaining? Hey, let me know by giving a like. But anyways, we need to nail the voice. So we have to give it a sample that's not crap and something you actually like. It needs to sound human and conversational. So this is the prompt that I told ChatGPT. Now I want you to read this lead magnet introduction. You'll notice I bring up a problem. I talk about why it's important to fix a problem and give the reader something to look forward to by reading the entire lead magnet. Can you read this for me and analyze the writing style? Now, I'll be using a chunk that I know has been proven to work. Like inputs, the data is super important. So if you want to see the chunks that I'm using that are proven to convert, I've actually got a free mini course called the 4-Hour GPT Cash Campaign. And it's where I walk you through from ad all the way from book call using ChatGPT, where it's going to do about 70% of the heavy lifting for you. By the end of it, you're going to have a campaign that's ready to test that would normally take me probably about a week to brainstorm, write, and implement. And in this course, I'm really confident you can do it all in just 4 hours. Secret sauce, though, like I said, is the high quality prompts, but also the high quality data that you feed it. So if you want to shortcut the process and look over my shoulder and see see the data that I've used to produce the lead magnet that we're creating today, I've got a link in the description below where you can grab that mini course for free. So what happens when you tell ChatGPT to analyze some copy, and how do you actually make it remember that so it's not crap and it goes off on a tangent every single time, which has happened to me so much. So in my past videos, when I show you how to analyze the copy, it gives you some useful keywords. So whenever ChatGPT is going off on a tangent, you can actually steer it back in direction. But there's one big change that I found by accident you absolutely need to implement every single time you ask it to analyze your copy. And it's super duper simple. All you're gonna do is just include your name. And I totally understand it doesn't sound sexy, but you're gonna see that ChatGPT loves going off on a tangent, and you're gonna reel it back in. And sometimes just using the keywords to bring it back in doesn't work. But if you can say, what happened to writing like Jules? Or what happened to writing like Tom? Or what happened to writing like Sarah? And then it's gonna have a point of reference and pull itself back in. It's pretty cool. I'll show you what I mean. So I asked it to write the introduction for a lead magnet for a niche I've never written for. So first steps first, you gotta feed it the right data. And then this is the next question. Great. Can you take the same tonality and observations you've made on this introduction strategic approach? Only this time, write me an introduction to a lead magnet for a coach selling how to close more deals in the Twitter DMs. And it gives me a bunch of really salesy garbage. So I asked it what happened to writing in the style of Troy. And while the body copy wasn't perfect, and what I really liked is that it copied my style of using empathy to hook the reader in, feeling like it's okay, it's not your fault, like I've got your back, I understand. So what goes next in a lead magnet like this? Well, for me, it's curiosity-packed bullets. And if you haven't checked out one of my other videos where I actually walk through from start to finish how you can create super good blind bullets, John Cutton style, and make them specific to your voice. But if you haven't already checked it out, that's in the description below as well. But we can just sort of streamline the process even more here. So this is what I wrote. Okay, so I had to settle for these bullets here. I probably would rate about a 5.5 out of 10, but they're good enough for this example. Now, to make this lead magnet flow really well, what I like to do is I like to take the question and then break it down to 3 core concepts, and I'm gonna put that into my lead magnet. Whatever coaching program or course or whatever specific solution or service you provide, I want you to dumb it down to 3 core steps. I don't know why, but 3 is just a really good number for people to grasp. And after each point, what we're doing is that we're telling ChatGPT, can you sort of explain the importance of this point? Because it's one thing to just give it to them, but you have to tell them why it's important, what they can do about it, and then show some social proof along the way. I want to show you how you do that. So take a look at this prompt, and I've basically just deconstructed it for the AI so it's knows what it's doing. Now, I want you to read this explanation after I tell someone a step in this lead magnet. You notice I bring up a problem, I tell them about why it's important to fix a problem, tell the reader about client wins that follow the same process, then open a loop to get the reader to read step 2 in the lead magnet. Can you read this and analyze the writing style for me? And in this case, I just feed it high quality data that I know it's proven to convert. And if you're not really sure what to write, just go back to what I said, because I've pretty much given you the template. And after I got this some feedback and I was happy with it, I actually made sure that it understood who Troy was. I'm like, this is Troy's writing. Make sure you understand who Troy is. Now, here's the part where it gets really interesting, because I want it to write something similar, something good, something persuasive, but for a niche I've never written before. So I asked my little minion, ChatGPT, can you write me a similar style explanation text for the same person who helps coaches close more deals in the Twitter DMs? In this explanation text, talk about the first of 3 steps to closing more deals in the Twitter DMs. The first step is all about grabbing attention in a crowded DM inbox. And of course, I got to poke the AI so it actually stays on track. And to my surprise, wow, this was so much better. It got the excitement up, but the problem was though, it didn't actually give any good content. So now I'm going to ask it, can you give me some actual tactical advice? So that's what you just asked ChatGPT. Can you rewrite this and give the reader more tactical information, how they would grab attention in a crowded Twitter DM inbox? Now, the rest of it from here is pretty easy. We're just going to use a similar prompt, but change the wording for exactly what we're after. And you'll kind of follow what I'm going with this, but it uses problem, agitate, solve the problem. I didn't specifically use that because I didn't want to go off on a tangent. So this is the second prompt, and you'll see exactly how I've changed things up. So the first part is the same, and the second part here where I've underlined it, it says talk about the second of 3 steps. So you want to change that. Then in the final sentence, you talk about what the second step is about. I've written the second step is all about making the prospect curious what your offer is and how it can help them get what they want most. So for you, you have to just alter what your thing is when you break it down to 3 steps. What is your second thing all about? And I tacked on this little last part because it was missing some tactical advice, and it's also missing some social proof. So I wrote, make sure to give tactical steps and also showcase a quick before and after testimonial to demonstrate authority in this subject. So all we're doing is that we're telling it to write in the second of 3 steps, where then we're describing what it is And then more than likely, you're gonna have to tell this cheeky bugger that's not how I write, that's how Jules writes, or that's how Troy writes. And then more than likely, you're gonna have to tell this cheeky bugger, no, what happened to writing like Jules? And it will come back and actually give you something usable. You just won't listen to me. Now for the third part, just sort of change the words and steps. Like I told you before, this is the third of third, or in this third step, it talks about blank. And you can't get the picture? And what about that solid, non-salesy, soft call to action to put people onto a call? Well, I tried this many times and I could not get ChatGPT to crack this. So instead of just trying to spend so much time trying to do this, I basically put into a template. And this is what I put inside my 4-hour GPT cash campaign. So I'm gonna show you how you can do that softly, call to action. Just so it'll be a lot easier to put it in a template. If you want to go grab it, it's in the link description below. All right, so now we've got the lead magnet. What do we need after the lead magnet? Well, obviously, we're gonna need some emails. And obviously, if you watch this so far, you probably want to know how to use ChatGPT to write really good emails. I'm going to show you how. So in this video over here, I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT to create a really good solid outline. That way, after people grab your lead magnet, maybe they didn't read it, you follow up with them with something that's actually relevant and persuasive. And ChatGPT is going to help you find out the stories you're going to use, the pain points you're going to touch on, even the big idea for each email. This is a process that will take me a few days at least to brainstorm, write, edit everything else. And in this video here, we're going to absolutely slash that time. So if you're interested in that, click the link over here to watch that video.